if you'd like to learn how to build a built-in wardrobe like I have done here from an empty space, then please keep watching. So as you can see here, we're lining out 100 centimetres for the base. We're just lining out with a tape measure. One plank of wood, we'll do 2 pieces. We then go in with a spirit level and just draw a line where we need to cut. And this is for both sides. And now we just do a nice clean cut. See, you've got one of your bases ready to go in the pile for the base that we'll show you later. And here we go with a second cut. So we just line it up nicely. The saw's great for this. Here we are for our last cut. So as you can see, we've got the bases with the MDF over the top. Just nail this in. We've done 2 base on both sides. And we fitted 1 wardrobe. And now what I'm doing is I'm just packing the wardrobe out on the corners. Here and here. I'm just packing it up the whole way. So these just slot in. So no nails on one side and a screw on the other. And I'm using I'm using the no more nails, the original. And we've just got a nail gun here. It seems so cheaper. So once we've packed all this out, what I'll be doing is building the second wardrobe, and then we'll pack out the middle as well. And then we need to buy a strip of MDF to go along here and to go at the front. And then we'll start framing. Okay, see you shortly. So as you can see here, we've got the first wardrobe up, doors are level. We've got the oak down the side. This will come in handy later, because basically it just holds the wardrobe, so it's a little bit more rigid with these in. I've got door handles on these yet, so just open from the bottom, but we just nail them here and it just really stops the wardrobe from moving. We've gone for hanging space in this one. Didn't want to go too crazy with the hanging space. And then here is going to have some shelving, a pull-out shelf, and I think 3 drawers, I think maybe I ordered. So we're then going to have a strip of beading down here, which I'll show you later. But for now, we've got the base, we've got the first wardrobe in, we've got the base, and I am screwing at the moment the holes to go in the back, which holds the wardrobe to the wall as well, so extra secure. And then we just need to add the doors to this, and then we're pretty much ready to go with the bits around the side. So we're going to be having skirting, we'll be having the skirting at the top with then the coving and then the beading down the sides, and I'll show you later what I've bought for that. But for the skirting we'll be using MDF, and you can get this cut at your local B&Q. 5 cuts are free, and then it's 50p a cut thereafter. So it's extremely cheap compared to cutting it yourself. We do have our own saw, but it's just easier to do it like this. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to finish screwing my other hole, and then I'll show you after. So we've opted for the 3 drawers and 2 shelves, and we've opted for the pull-out, which I feel is quite essential if you've got some bags or you want to put some accessories on there. And then, not for everyone, but if you can see here, you've got the 4 screw holes, well more than 4 actually. You've got 1, 2, 3, 6 screw holes plus where the legs have been and the bottom, they've got the same holes at the top. We've just put the caps in, but I feel like it just doesn't look finished because you can see those. So what we've done for the bottom, I need to go and buy them for the top, is we've used 2 shelves to put on the bottom to hide the screws, to just give it a bit more of a finished, neat look here. And then we're going to buy another 2 shelves. They're only £10 each, so you know it's quite cost effective to do this. And you can see here I've put one in just to see if it would fit. Well, they will sit above it, so then that should sit flush to that, because eventually we're going to screw the MDF up into here, so you'll see more screws. So just for a neater finished look, that's, you know, what we've opted to go for. But you know, you don't have to go for that if you don't want to. Obviously you've got a lot of screw holes here, which you can see. There's different ways you can, I guess, deal with these. You can leave them as they are, which we're on and are in between, or you can buy, called quickie caps. I've actually used them for my other wardrobe. So they're these. They're decorative screw caps. I mean, these ones match my walk-in wardrobe in my other room, but they're just these caps that come on a sheet, and you can actually stick them. I mean, obviously these are not the right colour, but you can kind of see what I mean. Let's just use one right here. So they're not the right colour, but you can kind of get. So you could actually cover the screw holes, which I think is the look that we're going to opt for, because I just think it looks a smoother, cleaner look. So yeah, they are quick caps if you want to give them a try. So once I'm not even ordered the quick caps yet, so once I've ordered them, I can show you the colour that we've used for the IKEA Pax for the oak inside. Obviously, if you opted for the white, that would be pretty easy to match up the white. The oak may be a little bit more difficult to match up, so I might have to order a couple of different samples, but I'll order and then let you know the ones that we opt to go for. So tomorrow, job is going to be putting the MDF board on the top and the bottom and the sides. I've then got a strip, which I haven't got it in here with me right now, but I have a strip for down here in the centrepiece. And then you can see here we have this little gap where the wardrobes are kind of budged together. However, you can see we have an even gap anyway on all of them, because obviously these are 2 doors and then these are 2 doors. So in a way, this kind of looks like this door comes out and then these doors come out and then this one comes out separately. So the gap doesn't bother me too much, to be honest, because they're all quite even. So I don't think I'm going to caulk or do anything with that gap. I think I'm just going to leave it, but I'll decide close to the time. I need to cut the strip for down here, and then we have a panel. So as you can see here, this obviously doesn't sit exactly flush. So what we've done is we have bought a panel which is thick enough. So this is the 9mm by just over 1200 by just over 2400mm. However, we've had this cut to size. So okay, just 2 seconds, I'll show you and put it on and come back. Okay, back again. So you can see I've placed this panel on. Obviously it's not secure, I need to secure it down, but you can see here it fits flush to the board that we made, the base, and then it runs the whole way the length of the wardrobe right up until the ceiling. So we've then not got to mess about putting another piece in up here, if that makes sense. So that's just a real easy way of dealing with this, to be honest, because otherwise we'd have had to get a long piece and then we'd have to get a separate piece up there. It made sense just to do one piece. It's not everyone's preference. The only thing which I'm still a little bit bothered about is, you can see here our wall is out. Should be fine. It's not going to be perfect. Obviously these are custom built in wardrobes with using an IKEA Pax furniture, and there are obviously lots of other DIY items, so it's never going to be perfect. You've got to think, like even a Hammond's or a Sharps, they never get it perfect. There's always things that you may see. We have a built-in wardrobe with Hammonds and also a built-in wardrobe in my walk-in wardrobe room, and to be honest there's still bits about both of those that are slightly out. It's just unfortunate that we don't make the walls, the ceilings, the floors, they are going to be out sometimes. However, I mean, so far we've been doing this for not even 3 full days. We did a couple of hours on Sunday. We didn't do anything Monday because we was both unavailable. It's only Wednesday, so we've only done half a day today and half a day yesterday on it. So I'd say we've done probably a day and a quarter so far on this, and this is how far we've got already. We've got the whole thing built. All it is now is to put the MDF on. We need to do the skirting, the coving, and then the painting. Okay, so I'm just going to show you how I've put this piece on here. So I've no nails the whole strip and the end of it. This piece is going to sit under here. I've just no nails this section. So what we're going to do is we'll turn this piece around and it will sit flush in here. This. So you can see here, look, it sits flush. So I've no nails this part, which you will get some excess. So if you just wipe up the excess that you get. I'm sorting these skirting boards out anyway because they're having new skirting boards, so it doesn't really matter. But yeah, you'll see here it fits perfect. So just no nails, and then what I'll do is I'm going in with some just smaller nails, just to ensure that it's definitely screwed in tight. This one, obviously we discussed earlier about putting nails in. I tried screws. The screws, excuse my doggy, the screws didn't work because the heads come out too far, and you're going to be able to see them. So what I need to buy, because I haven't got any and these screws are not big enough, I need to go and buy some larger screws, probably just a 20 to 30 mil screw to go in. So I'll buy them tomorrow and then I'll revert back with this bit. But for now, these bits are stuck down. Okay, so we've got our next update. As you can see, this is now secured in. It's not going anywhere. So we've no nails one side, and then I've just done 6 nail holes, and this is absolutely secure. This is not going absolutely anywhere. And obviously this is a very big panel, so it's very heavy because it's 215 centimetres by 58, so it's quite a big heavy MDF sheet this, and even this isn't going anywhere. So your smaller ones you can get away with probably maybe 3 to 4 nails at the top, 3 to 4 at the bottom, and maybe 1 at the side. I do like to kind of overdo it with the nails just to ensure that it is screwed on tightly, it's not going anywhere, but you can get away with using less if needed. So I am now going to put the bottom strip on and then I'll come back and show you after. So we've got a quick update. The MDF panel is now on, all secured, just with nails. I'll show you the different ones. So I used the 40mm for the corners, and I used a couple just in the middle to secure tighter. And then around the edges, I just used these ones. They're just the 30mm. They're just dialed, they're just from baking. You just need the 125 gram packs. So we've now got the bottom panel on. You can see there's a very, very slight variance in the doors. These two are fine. This one is just slightly lower, and then this one is quite low. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to have a play around with the doors just to get them to match up a little bit better. Naturally you will have a variance in some of the doors depending on the surface that you're building this on. If it's carpet, it's probably going to be slightly out compared to a hard floor, such as a wood, a vinyl or a porcelain tile. So just bear that in mind, but it will look absolutely fine when it's all finished and the skirting's on anyway. But I'm going to have a play with the doors and then I'll come back to you shortly. Okay, so beams are all on and secure now at the top. We've just screwed these in. We've got 4 screws in, and we've got 3 beams across. So this is what it looks like with the screws on show. You could just put the caps. Trying to find where I put these. Oh, they're in here. So you could just put some of these caps on if you wanted to hide the screw holes. And I actually have found some that are not too bad of a match. Not perfect, but not too bad. However, we've opted for this. I've not actually seen anybody do this before, so I'm going to take the credit for this. So as we've done the bottom, like we said with the shelf to hide the screw holes, we've done it for the top. I mean, there is a gap at the bottom one and a gap at the top, so I'm happy with that. It was a little bit faffy to get in, and you do have to, there's two options. You can take the door off, or you can just try and slide it in. It might mark the door just like slightly at the top. But yeah, it's nothing major. But yeah, it looks much cleaner with no screw holes. So that's where we are with this bit. And then I will just show you the beading that I've just done on the end. So you can see here we've got a bead that goes the full way up. It's flush against the wall. The wall runs perfectly straight until we kind of get to around here, and you can see it slightly just runs out, ever so slightly. This is just going to be all corked anyway, so you're not going to be able to tell. Once it's corked and painted, you're not going to be able to tell the difference. So now I've got the last piece of MDF strip here to put on the top. We are then all boxed in. So little update for you, it's 20 to 10, so we're finishing off now. So I've put a little strip up the side of here just to box this off. The reason I've not put it straight to the top is because the covin's going to go here, so that top bit will be hidden eventually. We're screwed in. We have a slight gap on all of the doors apart from this middle section, so I just need to pull this out slightly, which I'll do that tomorrow. We have got the strip in the centre, which is now all in, so we've got the equal on the two doors, the equal gap, and then we've decided to box that bit in. And then we have got all of this now boxed in. We've got the filler on all the nails, which tomorrow I will sand down, and then this will be ready for a primer and then probably 2 coats of paint. We've gone for the farrow Dimity shade, and we've gone for the matte look. So tomorrow I need to put the skirting boards on and then need to put the coving on. The coving is the trickiest bit. So yeah, we'll see how that goes tomorrow. Also, I think I mentioned before, we've got the beading strip here just to give it a real nice finish. Once the skirting boards are on and the coving's on, it's going to look much better. So I'll be back tomorrow morning with an update. So we've got an update on the beading. We've now put the first lot of beading on. So I've gone for a slightly larger section and then a slightly smaller. I've gone from 10 centimetres roughly from the top, the middle and the bottom. We finally managed to also do the skirting board. So you can see here, the skirting board is all nailed in. We've also used a grab adhesive and all corked as well. See, we've extended the skirting board right to the end. So we've actually taken the old skirting board off, and eventually all of the skirting in the house is going to be in this style, because currently it's just this basic style. So we are eventually going to upgrade all of them to this. So yeah, this is where we are. Coving wise, we put the first strip of coving on. We've got to match the corner up tomorrow, but it's now 10 o'clock, so we're not doing any more this evening. So I'll be back with you tomorrow with an update. And we're back with another day. So today I am currently doing the panelling. So I did a coat of primer last night, and then I've done 1 coat of paint, and then this is probably going to need 3. So I'll do a second coat once all the panelling's on, and then I will sort of stand back, see what I think, but I think it's probably going to need 3. I've not done the skirting boards and the coving. That's going to be the last bit that I paint, but for now I'm going to carry on putting all the boxes on and then I will come back and show you after. So for the boxes, I'm just using the Unibonds No More Nails, the original again, and I'm doing the boxes 40 centimetres in width, and I'm doing the bottom boxes 70 centimetres in length, and the top boxes I'm doing the same width and 90 centimetres, so they're going to be bigger boxes. We've got 12 centimetre gap at the bottom with a 12 centimetre gap at the top, and then a 10 centimetre gap between the two boxes. I've already done the holes for the handles, as you can see, and I can show you how to complete this box. So I'll just cut my piece of wood and then I'll come back and show you. Okay, so when it comes to putting the box on, what I do is the first ones you want to measure when you do your first boxes, but then you can just use the existing ones to find out the exact sizing, and I find this much easier, so you can just see the exact size in here just by looking at it. So we can see that this is slightly too long. So what I'll do is I'll just go in and take my saw and just make this slightly shorter. So you can see what I'm doing here is I'm just lining it up and just making it slightly shorter. So it's right, so I've cut that now. So I've just measured that against here, so you can then see that it's the correct length. You then just go in and you just want to make sure that fits. You may get some slight gaps. I have a couple of slight gaps here. All you need to do is just cork these, which I'll show you how to do some corking after. So we just want to no nails all the way behind this strip, and then you want some no nails on both ends as well. So all you do is you put your no nails just down each side of the strip and then along the back. And you want to be generous with this, but you also don't want to put too much on, because if you put too much on, it does seep at the sides onto your paintwork, which you don't want. But if you're quick enough, you can just wipe this off with a cloth. So I've no nails on both ends and on the back. So all you do is you place this on your box, in your existing box like this, and you just want to make sure that you press this in. Before you press too hard, you want to just take spirit level and make sure that that is within those two lines. And then you can go ahead and you can give a really firm press. And that's where some of you glue. So I just got an old towel. You want to make sure that your towel is damp, and you just want to score down the sides of your panelling. So I'm just completing some of the corking now, and then it'll be ready for the second coat. So you can see here, and this is now corked, and this has had 2 coats. The rest of them I've only had 1, so you can see the difference. This is definitely going to need 3 coats, all of them. So for anyone who hasn't corked before, I have made several errors whilst corking previously by putting way too much on. So I'm just going to show you how I do it. Again, I am by no means a professional on this, but this is kind of the tips that I found to cork quite easy. And you can buy tools for this, but it is just easier with your hands. So what I do is I just get, so this is my little setup here, I just get a little bit of cork on the finger, and what I do is I just run it along, and I use the water just to make it easier to glide along the gaps, trying to make sure that I'm not using too much. I'm just collecting a little bit more as and when I need it. So just running my fingers along. To cork all of that. Obviously having nails is not the best because it does get in the way a little bit. So you can see that is now all nicely corked. And then what I do is I get just a wet damp cloth and I just wipe off don't want to leave any excess, because if you do, you'll get lumps and bumps when it comes to painting, which is the issue that I had previously when caulking a previous project. Just want to make sure all that residue's gone. Just make sure it's all gone in the cracks of your beading as well. And there you have a caulked piece of panelling. So you can see the gaps here compared to flush here, so it'll be much better when painted, because otherwise the paint seeps under the panelling and it just causes it to gap, and you can see the bubble marks where the paints have been. So that's where we're at the moment. So I'm going to caulk these 6 panels, and then I'll come back to you with what it looks like. Okay, so we're back. So I've now caulked all of the panels. You can see all caulked. I have just sanded a couple more of the boards down as well. So I've sanded down this side, and then I've sanded down this side as well, and put some more filler on. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to give this a coat. This has only had, I think this has had 1 coat so far. So I'm going to give this another coat, see how it looks. I'll come back and show you later. So we've got a little update for you. We've done the 3rd coat of the paint on the doors and the skirting. Please ignore the wall, I was testing the colour because I was testing colour drenching, so please ignore that, it's not staying there. We're having all of this room painted, so we're going to have this full room painted in a probably like a light cream beige colour, and then I'm colour drenching the ceiling as well, so the ceiling and the walls are all going to be the same. And then the wardrobe is going to be this lovely, sort of a cream, it's a creamy beige again really, to be honest. So we've done the beading in the same colour. Please excuse my hands, they are absolutely disgusting. The board at the end and the panel, and then the skirting board, I haven't got the paint in here at the moment, so I'll show you later, but the skirting board and the coving is going to be in a different colour, because the coving and the skirting board we're going to have throughout the rest of the house, so we want to have that in the same colour everywhere. So the paint that I've used, because I did say that I'd show you, you're going to just have to excuse the tin now. It's the Valspar Premium multi-service furniture for interior, and it's already got a primer in it. However, I have doubled up on the primer. I think I showed this previously, but I've used the Russell's primer. It just needs 1 coat. It's a primer and an undercoat, and like I said, it does go on a little bit funny, but definitely use that. You can get it off Amazon. You only need the small tin if you're doing this kind of size of wardrobe. It was £7.50. And the shade of the colour that I've used is, I'm pretty sure it's Dimity. Yeah, so it's Dimity, and this is just a 2.5 litre, and that's done. And to be fair, we've still got quite a bit in there as well, and that has done all of these wardrobes. And they've had 3 coats. The panelling, because it's obviously wood, you find that sometimes the paint can seep into the wood and it can then sort of crack. So what I have done is I have actually put 4 coats on the panelling. The rest of it's only had 3, but the panelling has had 4 coats. And to be honest, it takes a couple of minutes to do each box. I've just gone round with just a smaller paintbrush to just kind of fill in any of those cracks. So I'm now going to do the skirting and the coving, and then I'll come back, I'll show you the colour that I've used. Yeah, and that's it. I thought I'd just come back and show you quickly whilst this tin's still nice. So this is the paint that we've gone for. So again, we've gone for the Valspar Premium, the wooden metal. It's really good for scuffs and stains on skirted board, and obviously it's quite a high traffic place, especially because we have 2 dogs. It doesn't yellow either, so we have gone for the strong white, which is again a farrow wall colour. So it is just an off-white, because I just wanted something in the house that wasn't gloss. We will be changing all the doors eventually, and the architraves of the door are also going to be in this lovely strong white as well, so they'll all be sanded down to match, and obviously we'll have the matching skirting boards throughout the house. So yeah, I'll do these skirting boards and I'll come back and show you. Okay, so a quick update for you. We're pretty much there. We're nearly finished, thank God. It's been hard. It's been a long project, and it's been time consuming, so it's lucky that I'm off work at the moment, otherwise I definitely would have struggled to get this done. It would have probably taken a good couple of my weekends up. So in total, when did I start? It's taken me a week and 3 days in total, but it's not actually taking me that long, 'cause I've not done full days every day, although I have the last couple of days. Today I did a 9-hour day, just because I really needed to get the painting done today, because I'm busy now for the rest of the week. So here it is. So we've got a few more bits to do. There's a little bit of filler, might not be able to see, there's a little bit of filling that we need to do up here. And a couple of bits that we need to do around the corner, but other than that it's painted and the 2 door handles are on. We've just got to line the other 2 door handles up tomorrow. So yeah, these are the door handles that we've gone for. They're so lovely, really nice door handles actually. And then once these are on and I've cleaned the insides, I'll show you all the interiors and I'll show you the finished look. We've got this door that just needs to be level. We've bought a tilt hinge for it just to tilt it up, because for some reason it was just running slightly out, but that will be fixed tomorrow. So you can see that that panelling is slightly lower than the other ones, just because I need to finish that hinge, but it's not getting done until next week. I've ordered the hinge, I've just got to wait for it to come. So once that's level, that panelling will just move slightly up and it'll be completely level. But yeah, this is sort of the finished look. See around here. The lighting's not great now because it is about 11 o'clock. So yeah, this is how it looks. I'll show you better tomorrow in the natural light. So we are finally finished. This is the big project finished. So I think I mentioned before, we've got this door that just needs to be slightly adjusted, which is going to be done next week. And then the ceiling, excuse the marks, but this is going to be all painted over the next few weeks, and the walls as well, so it'll look completely different again once it's all done. But I'm really, really chuffed with it. It's the first big project that I've done. I'm happy. So I'll just show you the inside again. So here's the inside. So I actually ordered these brown caps from IKEA. So the ones before were this colour. So they just didn't match as well. And you can order these ones online. They match so much better. So I've just changed those as well. I've just cleaned it all out. So it's ready to put everything in now. So yeah, this is the finished look inside. So you can see the reading strip at the bottom has all been painted. And then, oh, the handles as well. The handles are all on now. So you can see the handles. See, these are really, really lovely handles from Handle and Handle. And then this one is just the rail. Got caps in there, and then I've got one roll plug up there that just needs a cap, so we'll use one of the caps for these. I'll put the link to where I bought these ones from. They did come in a pack with different colours, so it's personal preference as to which ones you want to use. The backing is slightly lighter than the rest of the wardrobe, so I actually am going to change that cap to a lighter one. And they do, like I said, they do come in a pack, and it has got a lighter one in this pack. So I will be using the lighter one for the backing, but this, if you want any on here, which to be honest, it's again personal preference. I'm going to put a couple of caps on this backboard, but on this bit there isn't really any need. Obviously, screw holes for your handles. Any wardrobe has those. And like I said before, you could cover all these, but there's an awful lot to cover, so you'd be buying a lot of caps. And again, most wardrobes has the holes, so I don't really think you need to go ahead and do that, to be honest. But yeah, this is the finished look. So I'm super happy with it. So yeah, if you have any questions or are wanting to do a project very similar and need any support on it, please feel free to reach out, and I'll upload some photos later as well. Thanks for watching.